Thank you. Senator McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, and thank you to our three distinguished guests. I'm grateful this panel of witnesses is come here to discuss an important issue for our permitting process and jobs pipeline in Pennsylvania. The reality is that regulatory inconsistency and duplication across federal agencies are unnecessarily delaying and hindering vital infrastructure projects across the country, including in my state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's why I'm committed to streamlining the permitting process and examining the different regulations and rules put in place, such as the Section 106 consultation process under the National Historic Preservation Act. The NHPA process currently slows down our ability to build, update, and modernize due to several specific failures that directly impact our state's economy. This includes the fundamental regulatory inconsistency across how different federal agencies apply the rule, often resulting in duplicative and overly expansive consultations by agencies like the National Park Service. We also face challenges from the Bureau of Land Management's deference to tribes and their required changes on previously agreed upon plans, which creates crippling uncertainty for developers. Compounding all of this, the reliance on subjective and difficult to measure concepts like the traditional cultural properties, TCPs, allows for decisions that go beyond clear statutory requirements, treating vague concepts with the same significance as clearly delineated historic sites. Now, for Pennsylvania to secure our future and lead in manufacturing, we need reforms that impose firm deadlines, clarify the scope of review to the project's actual disturbance, and exempt critical infrastructure like utility poles and transmission lines from being unnecessarily flagged as historic. So with that context, Mr. McDonald, last summer in Pennsylvania, we hosted the inaugural Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit, which convened President Trump, his cabinet, and leading CEOs from energy, technology, and energy sectors. Throughout the day, participants raised our urgent need to build new energy infrastructure quickly and efficiently to meet the growing demands for energy. In your testimony, you discussed the unexpected delays MDU faced when rebuilding an electric distribution line due to Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. Given that U.S. electricity demand is projected to increase by nearly 80% by 2050, how do you expect the current Section 106 process to significantly hinder critical energy development?
Thanks for the question, Senator. I think the answer is it varies, and that gets back to the point in my testimony about the clarity needed in the statute, depending on which federal agency you're talking to, even which consultant, which utility company. There's just been a lot of different interpretations of how do you define that area of potential effects and what the project is establishing there. So, I mean, potentially there are projects that'll go on as planned and everybody will agree upon the same interpretation, but without that clarity in the statute, it is still a bit of a guessing game on how these projects are going to run and how efficient they're going to be planned and executed. And as I spoke to with that example, again, we're dealing with about a two and a half month window for construction. So even a delay of a month or two, depending on the timing of when we get to that point in the process, can lead to a further delay depending on what your construction season delays are.
Advice on what changes policymakers should pursue to address critical infrastructure delays caused by Section 106?
Yeah, thanks, Senator. We can get you more definitive language on what that looks like. I think it's really just for linear projects in particular. If we're not receiving federal funding, which we typically don't, we're an investor-owned company. It's pretty rare anyways. But if we're not receiving federal funding, then our thought is the jurisdiction for the federal agencies and the consultation projects is the land that they manage. That would be our suggestion, but we can follow up with more distinct language there too.
Very good. Mr. Concha, I have a question for you, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time, so I'll submit that for the record. Thank you.